so I'm just gonna take my exit now. And I learned. I got out and I realized that, yeah, I don't have the training yet to mine this. And when I do get here, it's a nasty, nasty battle with those battleship rats. And I can do it. I can kill them all. But it's more. It didn't used to be like this. They would pop in like maybe 1 to 3 rats, but now they don't want you doing what I'm doing. So they pop in like what you saw, 10 mobs. And I didn't know this. In the old days, you could sit and do Murkoxic, but not anymore. They've changed the game in a way where you can't do that anymore. So now we take our glorification out, or not glorification, but our I gotta go look at the notepad to remind myself. It's then cladistic to a poke fence system. Good. There's our next warp. Another thing about this that I didn't think about is every time that you leave, every time that you do this, it's a 45-minute investment. Oh god, that scared me. The way it loaded. Yep. And so now I'm in Pokeven. There's no one here in this system, which is surprising to me, like really surprising to me. So. Border. Oh, it's an ore site. Let's go see what this border Bezdenesim field is thing. Let's go to this just because I have to wait 15 minutes anyways. Probably die doing this, but I don't care. I'll at least be able to see some content if I do die. So now we're in Pokeven, and then I've got to wait 15 minutes on a 14 minutes on a Capsuleer log off timer. And oh. This, yeah, this bird is good, but, I guess I'll just have you sit. Man who stands! What's up, man who stands? Damn, I got a lot of people here. What's up, guys? How you doing? What's up, man? How you doing today? Sorry I fell asleep on you yesterday. You don't have to apologize to me, man who stands. You're good. Very sweet of you to be concerned. No problem. I think you should fall asleep when you fall asleep. I don't give a flying fuck what you do. I mean that in a nice way, not a uncaring way. I mean that like I don't care what you do, you know, like live your life. I care what you do. I just don't care how you do it. I don't care how you do it. Let's feed this bird to this tiger and see what happens. I'm in EVE Online doing what's called a day trip, which is going out to nasty, wretched hive of villainy, wretched hive of villainy, space on EVE Online, and oh man, is this gonna work? No, but he'll kill. Your skill has increased. He'll kill the bird, though. Will you kill the bird? No, yeah, kill the bird. Yeah, kill the bird. Yeah, so I can charm you. What is he? He's EM. That's actually good. The bird hurt the tiger. That's funny. Come on, tiger. Yeah. Uh-oh, what's that sound? Oh no. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. It's a malediction. Oh, okay. Well. I might as well mine since I'm here. I don't think he has the tank. He doesn't have the tank. Retribution. Obvious scrub. I warped to that thing and 7 people showed up inside of 10 seconds. It was a sweaty loser fest. Really sweaty loser neckbeard fest. It made me feel dirty to even be around it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just felt so bad and dirty. It was like, oh, look at this stinky ass fucking 40-year-old burnt boomer spend 14 hours a fucking day showing up 5 seconds on a fucking ore pop site. And you're like, oh no, boring losers in a huge pack. Oh no. And they were like, good, don't come back. And I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back. Not if you guys are here. It stinks like loser. Sorry. And I don't give a shit about 60 million, but you obviously do. Or you wouldn't have shown up with a 7-man in fucking side of 30 seconds or whatever that was. And yeah, and then that's, oh, I'm sorry I lost 60 million. Oh well. You know what I'm saying? An obvious scrub was obvious and was toxic pretty much immediately. And it's like, nah, man, you're making the game worse by being here, you piece of shit. Piece of shit with your bad fucking attitude. I was saying, like, literally, I opened the conversation with saying, hi, guys. I've never been here before. I love you. And they responded, good, don't come back. And I was like, yeah, well, fuck you, asshole, obvious fucking scrub, piece of shit making the game worse. And I ate him alive in front of 7 people. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man, all I did was pop my head in a door. And your born loser, basement dweller, fucking shithead ass has to toxic up the place inside of 45 seconds while you sit around guarding an ore site in fucking Pokeven like it's some kind of fucking bank vault in the real life. And the whole thing stank of loser idiot with no self-awareness, no clue. He could obviously look at my bio and see that I'm 14 years old, but instead he just opens his mouth and inserts the dick and it obviously scrubs out in front of 7 people, so I ate him alive. And I don't give 2 shits about a 60 million mining or ship loss, you know what I'm saying? Born scrub, born loser. You can see it right away. Bad attitude, boomer mentality, bad toxic boomerism. Like, pretty much suck a dick, old shitty boomer with your old shitty I roll with 7 people to rob some digital thing, like fucking shithead pirate pack. Y'all can suck each other's dicks. And yeah, I hope you're in here watching this. If you saw my bio and you came to my channel and stuff, suck my dick, clueless scrub asshole. And there you go. So I missed somebody. Though they're trying to beat the bots to the URL full-time job. Yeah, like what? Yeah, like it's a full-time job. Yeah, it's like a full-time job for them. Yeah, and trust me, to respond in under 5 seconds like that, this is a full-time job for them. It's a full-time job to guard. They're using 7 people to guard against 1 person showing up at an ore site in Pokeven. It's the worst born losers I've ever experienced in MMO-hood. And this is one of the reasons why this game causes that kind of like small-minded shithead tyrant shit, which is why it's dying just like Rust, because they don't know how to be nice to each other or treat each other with honor. They've sat in that cesspit for like 10 or 15 years of everybody hating on them and treating them like shit for so long for the shitty shit that they do just like what they just did, right? That they get eaten alive by the community, and they're so nasty and fucked up at that point that they've got to be totally shitty and nasty to everybody that they fucking meet. Girls won't sleep with them. People won't pay them good money at real jobs. They have shitty lives and they live that middle class reality, and they're eating McDonald's every day, and they're fucking angry, and you can see it when they speak to you. It's a shitty, sad stereotype, and I hope the guy's watching right now. I really do. I hope he's watching right now. I really do. I'll say it right to their fucking face. It went from, like, you know, me saying, hi, I love you, I'm visiting, I've never been here, good kill, to him being like, good, never come back, loser. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man, shut the fuck up. You showed up 7-man to gank a 1-man in Pokeven. You're the born loser, it's obvious. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but it's obvious. It's like, you're the one who showed up 7-man to gank a mining ship worth 60 million. You're the fucking loser. It's obvious as hell. It's like really obvious. Like this kind of gameplay would have been acceptable back when we were like 17 to 22 years old, right? And like everybody was in high school and in like in college, or like they're like bumming around Europe or whatever, right? And they can sit around and do loser ass shit like that. Sit around for 14 hours in a 7-man looking for one person to pop into a mining spot, right? Yeah, but those guys never left. They never left that hole. They never evolved beyond that. They still do it. 12 years later, acting like born losers in a wool pack full of submarines that are like 10 times the value of your ship. So there's no chance, nothing, right? And they call this skill, and they're tiny. Like nobody will play EvE because of these people. When they realize what it is and the people that are in it, nobody will play EvE, and the proof is it's been 24,000 players for solid 22 years because those shitheads, and they show up and I eat them alive. One time I had a guy pop my mobile tractor unit in a level 4, and he was Russian. And I was like, fuck you for being a piece of shit in high sex, shitting up my community, treating noobs with such careless abandon, wasting your time and destroying something that has no meaning except that it costs them money. That's it, right? And I was like, fuck you. People like you need to fucking go out to nullsec and rob people like a real man for a fucking living. Fuck you, loser. You've made EvE worse, right? And like 60 people showed up in my channel, and they were like, Jesus Christ, dude, you're actually right. His whole corp showed up, and his whole corp were like, you were doing what? And I was like, he was popping MTUs in Fontainen like a fucking born loser, just like those idiots that we just saw. And they were like, what? And I was like, I don't know why you're all here, but he linked my channel to their fucking corp, and I got like 30 follows and like all these fucking crazy people being like, you're too angry, but you're absolutely right. I got like 60 people being like, you're too angry, but you're absolutely right. He's doing born loser shit. He absolutely is. And I was like, yeah, he is. I wouldn't say it. I'm not being hyperbolic about those idiots that we just saw. The kind of born basement dweller, neckbeard, fucking never met a woman in their entire life shit that I just saw is why this community can't get bigger than 24,000, right? And so there's the nice of us who are just trying to learn the game and see all the content and be normal gamers. And then there's those born losers who show up seven man in a 2 billion ISK roam to bang a 60 million ship ISK. A 60 million ship ISK ship. And you're like, oh man, yeah, that shit was cool in 2004, like all the references that you use and all the loser, like fucking the loser talk that you use, and the last time you got laid in 2004 was the last time that roaming in a 2 billion to 3 billion ISK fucking 7-man death roam and pokefen to a fucking, like, to a miner site to pop a 60 million-ish ship, right? The last time that was cool was 2004, and then the rest of the community would say the exact same thing. It's born loser bullshit. It's born losers acting like born losers, and I don't even mind being the victim of it because I get to troll them for like 20 minutes afterwards. I don't give a shit about the 60 million, but that's the only kill that those basement dwellers are gonna get today. So they're super happy. They're like patting each other on the back. Great 60 million kill, guys. We got 40 cents. We got 40 cents worth of ISK. We got 40 cents, guys, and it took us 3 hours of sitting there, and we got 40 cents, guys. We got a 40-cent kill. Oh my God, we gotta troll the guy before he dies. He's such a piece of shit. Wow, look at us. We got 7 people, and that guy's a piece of shit because he's alone. What a piece of shit. We're so much better than him in our brains. But no, you're 40, you're bald, you're a loser, you're in a fucking basement, no woman will talk to you, and like on top of it, like, you know, you're using a 7-man to verbally abuse somebody and anybody on the outside. And honestly, I'm publishing this. I'm publishing this tonight. I'm publishing it tonight like I do every night. And I'm going to publish it for the fucking world to see. I'm going to show the world. And who do you think they're going to side with? Are they going to side with the 7-man talking shit to the 1-man? Or are they going to side who lost like 40 cents worth of stuff? Or are they going to side with the basement dweller, toxic shithead asshole who kills the population of EvE and drives away anybody trying to do anything new at all? See, and I tried to go do something new, right? And the response was a 7-man shows up inside of 5 seconds and stomps me. Yeah, that's cool. In nullsec, in Pokeven, you're a born loser. You're a born loser if you're doing that. You're a born loser. You're a straight up born loser. Like, I'll say it right to their fucking face. And I'll publish it to YouTube tonight. And anybody for the rest of my life can challenge me on the statement, they'll be wrong. You know what I'm saying? So the public, I gotta take it to the public, right? I'm not even angry at them. I'm actually seriously clowning them. Because the born loser bullshit that I fall victim to sometimes is like really gobsmacking. You're like, Jesus Christ, man. I know 2004 was cool, but I need you to stop using those references. I need you to stop using those tactics. I need you to stop acting like you're 19 years old still and doing stupid-ass 19-year-old punk bullshit. And actually have a real life full of exploration and seeing the content and exploring instead of trying to make other fucking, like, paying 3 hours into trying to make other people fucking feel bad. And yeah, it's going on the video. And yeah, it'll probably be on LSF later kind of stuff. Because it's like, yeah, like somebody should say something about it. Somebody should say something. You know, they never got any, not even in 2004. Back in the day, they were still using Mickey the Apple Pies to get their rocks off. There you go. Yeah, somebody who understands it. When you're around these people who have to make some shitty like superiority complex thing on you because you're playing a PvP non-consensual game, that is why PvP non-consensual games never get off the goddamn ground. It's those assholes. If they just said good fight, honestly, if they just said good fight, I would go back to that place sometime again in the future. But when I saw what I saw, I was like, no, I'm never going in your basement ever again. I'm not going in your basement ever again. If the basement contains you, I'm not going there. I'm not going down there ever again. No. You know? Like, honestly, yeah. So, you know, Born Loser says Born Loser shit, and yeah, I'll publish it and I'll show the world. Because trust me, they saw what he said. They saw the fucking attitude he had. Like, I mean, the people can see that he's a born loser. It's clear as day. Only shitheads treat each other like that. Only shitheads talk like that. So my response was, literally in real time, I said, obvious scrub is obvious scrub. And then I said, shut the fuck up, obvious scrub. Get trolled. And they killed me. And honestly, that's the proper response. Obvious scrub is obvious scrub. And I trolled him in front of his 6 little butt buddies, you know? Jesus Christ, who 7 bangs anybody? Find a real fight. Like, even in Rust, we like, Rust has more honor than that shit. In Rust, if you're rolling in a 7-man and you see a fucking dude in cloth with a pickaxe over there on the horizon, like fucking 110 meters, sure, you could go bang him and he might have some rock, yeah? Or you can take the 7-man to a real target and raid a base, or kill a 3-man and take 3 nice AK kits. You can actually do something fucking productive with your fucking life. Or you can go take the 7-man, bang the naked for his fucking metal pickaxe and his fucking cloth set. And the naked's like, fuck you, fucking obvious scrub shitheads, right? Because that's the proper response. Fuck you, obvious fucking scrub shitheads. You really got a 7-bang, a solo in cloth? That's the equivalent of what just happened. So you call it to their fucking face. You're why the game never gets off the fucking ground. You're why the game never got off the ground. You are why your toxicity is why the game never got off the ground. Your toxicity is why New World had to go PvE and kill the best MMO that's ever been made. Your toxicity is why Rust dropped from 1 million concurrent to 230,000. You think it's me being hyperbolic? But no. Your shithead toxicity that I just saw is why these games are dying. And what are you gonna say when these games are fucking dead and they can't afford to run the servers anymore because your shithead toxic cocksuckers fucking shithead toxic cocksuckered up the place? And this is the actual fucking reality. You think I'm fucking kidding. No. Like, you think I'm being hyperbolic or exaggerational or Skycat's on a rant again or some shit. No. I'm gonna show you the fucking numbers of the proof. Thanks for decharming and killing me yet again. I'm gonna show you the fucking numbers. Can you please stop decharming every fucking 45 seconds? None of the other servers, including retail, ever did that shit, but this server does. It's goddamn horrible. So, what are we looking at here? Steam game and player statistics, right? 24,000 is the highest concurrent EVE Online has been in 12 years because they did Twitch Rivals like I told the CCP dev to do. I've spoken to a CCP dev because I have a positive attitude. That neckbeard basement dweller, his probably life's dream is to speak to a GM. He'll never get it because his attitude has doomed him to that basement dweller fucking reality. He'll never get it, but I have, because I live in a positive place where I can talk to somebody positively until they, on a case-by-case basis, they give me reason not to, right? So we come back and we see that, yeah, Rust keeps falling on down that fucking hole. So, I mean, it was in the summer concurrent, it was 310,000. Now it's 110 concurrent, 78,000 right now, right? We know why this is happening. I mean, and this is still high on the charts, but we know why this is happening. I mean, compared to even PUBG, which came like later than Rust did. We know why this is happening. We know why EVE Online and all the toxic DayZ shit, toxic shit, is sliding on down that toxic clown shit pole covered in clown shit, right? Is because the toxic shitheads have shat up the place with their shit realities and their no sex, no fucking life, no incel fucking bullshit, right? I've had sex in the last 2 years. These people haven't had sex in the last 20 years. There's like a big fucking difference. There's a big fucking difference. You know what I'm saying? There's yeah. Now I have the same toxicity towards them as they do towards everything else in their entire reality. The only people I ever speak to, like in this kind of negative, toxic way, is the fucking people who treat me this way. Fuck the people in DayZ. Fuck the people in Rust. Fuck the people in EVE Online. Fuck them in their stupid non-consensual PvP. Treat you like complete bullshit asses. And I know not the entirety of all of those communities are like that, but most of them are. Of the 110 plus, what is it? 65, so that's 165, and the 27,000 playing EVE Online, right? You got about 200,000 people. 185,000 of them are complete shithead losers who shouldn't be allowed to play the game. They should have been banned by now. I know because I meet them every single fucking day. Fuck the toxic gamers and infest these goddamn non-consensual fucking games and shit. Like, I'm sorry, I know your fucking goal is to roll around 7-man, but see, if I have 7 fucking people, I'm going to some place where I can find a 5-man, like a gate roam. Like a gate gank in low sec or something like that. I'm not going to gank some fucking miner in cloth with a metal pickaxe. I'm not gonna be a loser like that and sick the dogs and act like some cocksucking idiot going, "Warriors, come out to play, yay! We're gonna stop this noob, blah blah blah." 7v1, right? And like, oh, and you call the horns with so much honor in the way that you're acting. So much honor, you know? Oh man, Warriors, come out to play. We got a 7v1. Yeah, fucking cocksuckers. You're cocksuckers. You're shithead cocksuckers. That's all you are. Your toxicity is unacceptable in 2023, and I'll fucking do the same toxicity back to you that you do to me. And I hope the pilot is sitting in the fucking channel. I hope he is sitting in the fucking channel. Fuck you, piece of shit loser. Killing Eve right in fucking front of me. I say good fight, hard sign. I've never been here. You say good, never come back. Fuck you, you cocksucker. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Say it in real life, motherfucker. Say it in real life. You treat me like that? So anyways, there's my spiel about that. And I go off like a good half an hour on the neckbeard shitheads turning their shitty realities into the world around them. I'm sick of it. The secret to the universe is you put out to the universe exactly what you give. The universe gives back to you exactly what you give. If you give toxicity bullshit to everybody that you fucking see, you know, instead of the people that deserve it, like this shithead that I just met, right? You will have a bad life, right? I'm gonna leave this fucking rant now with a bit of Bad Religion lyrics as some fucking, like, a moral to the fucking story here. This isn't some fucking, like, rant about getting my rocks off about losing or something like that. It might seem like it, but it's not. It's actually trying to civilize the shithead neckbeard basement dwelling fucking idiots who are toxicking up the top 5 games in the MMO industry. I'm fucking saying it right to your fucking face. Fuck you for turning everything around you into shit, and I need you to be a bit more positive. I give you a heart sign in the fucking Overwatch match when I lose, and you tell me to uninstall. I tell you to go, I mean, I'm not gonna say it. I tell you to go jump in a fucking lake, shithead basement dweller. I haven't had sex in 20 years, since 2004, idiot. I know it's been 20 years since the world has dealt you anything that was good or whatever, but that's because 20 years ago is when you went on your pirate lifestyle, shithead, boomer, angry, fuck you, like, you know, bullshit lifestyle. That's the last time you did it. I know, because I lived it for like 16 fucking years. The difference is, when I was like 35, I've stopped doing that shit until somebody steps on me like that. I stopped doing it. I don't sit around and talk shit to somebody that I just killed. It's dishonorable. Like, not to their fucking face. I'm saying something nice and positive in the fucking chat, like, hey, good fight, guys. You know, and then it turns into being like, nah, obvious scrub is obvious scrub, rolling with 6 obvious scrubs in a fucking flame war in the chat and shit. Y'all fucking born losers show up 7v1 and all this shit, and then I get potted because that's what I want. And like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, dude, like, at that point, like, yeah, like, I get it, but it's not me being pissed off about a kill. It's watching you turn this world that I love into shit with your shit attitude. I hit you with a heart sign and I say, good play, honorable kill. You say, good, don't ever come back, right? I say, fuck you, asshole. You want fucking fists in your face? I say, fuck you, is what I say. You and your fucking attitude can go fuck yourself. Somebody tries to give you a positive out on an honorable kill, all you have to do is say good fight, and then suddenly your morale is up. Your crew's morale is up. You got a kill. The guy accepts that it's a good kill. He says good fight, right? This is the same as true of real life, right? Like, fucking same is true of real life. Like you say good fight. You don't rape the guy's wife. You don't sit around and troll him for an hour afterwards. You don't just act like a shitty sexless boomer on fucking non-consensual fucking games, acting like a fucking shithead, shitting up my fucking community with your fucking negativity. Fuck you. And that's all I get. That's all I've got. Sorry. It's just like, it's not like, it's 60 million. I shit 60 million. I made 60 million just today, right? I don't give a shit about losing the ship. I give a shit about an E-pilot in a dying game. I met the dev and he talked to me about the woes of trying to raise the population. And I told him, you accept way too much toxicity from the people who play this game. You do. You just accept it. You can't. You need a social contract like World of Warcraft. I know it's leftist. I don't fucking care. It's a leftist push. But you need the social contract. If the kids are getting cyberbullied like this every time that they get killed or whatever, they're gonna turn into the shitty negatives, I haven't had sex in 20 years boomer. You know what I'm saying? That's who they're gonna turn into. If this is how they are treated every time they get killed, like, Jesus fucking Christ, that boomer will turn everything into fucking shit. Everything. So fuck him, fuck his attitude. You know? Jesus Christ. I try to say good fight, and you trigger me by saying, yeah, fuck you, never come back. What? Like, yeah, I know you treat the other basement dweller losers out here in your little cesspit sewer like that, but you don't speak to me like that, motherfucker! I'm a real one! Don't you ever speak to me like that in public, or in the game, or otherwise! And don't you speak to people in my community like that! Don't you speak to people like community in my, don't you speak, I don't speak to them like that. I speak to them in my stream, where it's my stream, my house, and I can do what I want. But don't you ever speak to people, especially kids, in my community like that. Don't you ever speak to them like that. I would sock you in the fucking face if I could. Don't you ever speak to them or treat them like that. This place is a blessing. It is a virtue. It is given to us. We pay for it. And we don't want your horse shit in our fucking lobby. Get the fuck out, worthless piece of shit boomer. Don't ever play games again. Because we don't want you here, worthless piece of shit. You fucking fucked this shit up for far too long. You killed our games. I can't play Call of Duty because you suck 50 billion bags of dick every day. And that's the truth. Every word of it. I can't play Call of Duty to go see what Warzone is like because you suck 50 billion bags of toxic fucking poison dicks every single fucking day of your life. And I can't even go in a Call of Duty lobby in a fucking stream because of your fucking horseshit cocksucker ass. So I had to ban somebody. That's all I have. Sorry about the rant, you know. So we'll go on about our business here. Can I jump? No, I need a cooldown, so I guess I'll just go back for now. That'll be, and somebody should, I mean, nobody ever talks about this shit. They just say social, they use buzzwords like social contract and shit like this, or negativity, or anybody who bans you for negativity and all this shit. It's a woke, or the word woke. No, it's called fucking decency, cocksucker. Decency. Do you know it? Do you know what the word means? It's called decency. I can rip into you like an indecent asshole after you fucking burn me like that for no fucking reason on a comment of good fight, heart sign. You say don't come back or whatever the fuck. Fuck you, asshole. Like I will eat you alive if you cause it. If you bring that toxicity to me, fuck you, asshole. Jesus fucking Christ. You know, I will not, okay, for like 2 months now, I will not put Rust or EVE Online or, like Rust or EVE Online in my streams, game chat, right? Where, I will not identify to those games communities that I am playing that game because I know that I'm a nice person who visits like as a casual every once in a while, right? So I just don't belong there in those communities. But what the real reason that I don't do this is I don't want Rust and EVE Online assholes coming into my fucking chat and treating me like shit. And when I did stop doing it, I got it a lot less. Like 2 months ago, I just stopped identifying as Rust. I stopped identifying as EVE Online. And suddenly the shit, and this is the truth, the shitty toxic boomers were suddenly gone out of my fucking life. Like all I had to do was stop identifying as their swan song of toxic cesspits, right? And of non-consensual PvP talking shit to each other and being born losers for all their fucking lives and shit, right? And like not ever evolving or getting above or multiplying or cultivating or any of this stuff, right? They just sit in that fucking cesspit talking shit their entire fucking life. And I'm sorry, when I stopped identifying to their games, I cut that whole side of my community the fuck out of my channel pretty much overnight. Just overnight, I swear to God. It was like overnight, like suddenly the bullying, the problems, the people, the bullshit, the weird right-wing beliefs that women can't report rapes and weird shit like this and stuff that they would step with, it was gone immediately because I knew that the minute I got away from the non-consensual shitheads, the fucking negativity would end, and it did. The only negativity left on my channel is mine. That's it, you know? And that's how I know. When I cut the games off of my fucking tags, I immediately see a much better community. And that's how I know that y'all shitheads are shitting up these toxic cesspits that I choose to voluntarily go to. It's like taking a visit to the sewer and then you still take a shit on me from a hole in the ceiling or something like that. It's just bad fucking form. I'm visiting the fucking sewer as it is. If you take a shit on me while I'm visiting the sewer, you just live up to the fucking, like, shithead PvP stereotype like that, right? And I don't visit your fucking sewer ever again. And then you got no one to kill now, do you? And then your game dies because they can't keep the servers running, and you're constrained to a private server full of 600 of the worst shithead hacker, idiot fucking toxic boomers like you. And that's what'll happen too. That's what'll happen to Rust. That's what'll happen to EVE Online, unless you guys fucking sign the social contract fucking willingly and stop treating each other like fucking shit all day. Fuck you, shitheads. And that's all I have to say about that. Straight Crusader said this before me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Crusader said it before me. This is not me talking. I am literally delivering someone else's spiel. This isn't my spiel. This is not original. This is not Skycat coming up with something that he should be quoted for. This is me quoting a female streamer that deals with your horse-cockery lives every single fucking day. Every day. And she knows better. It doesn't get better. Y'all don't change. Y'all like being big king shit tyrant in your tiny sewer. And then you like taking shits on the heads of people that visit your sewer. And what do you think's gonna happen? Nobody comes back to the sewer. You sewer-dwelling rat. And on that note, I think I got all of it out. Let's go do something more positive. I watch my games slide down the list, you know? Watch them slide down, like straight up, like right now, DayZ is dying. Like, straight up dying. Like, New World is doing better than DayZ. Like, literally this year, Nerdslayer Studios did a Death of New World thing, but honestly, he should have been doing it for DayZ, because this game is dead. It's dead. And it's because it's full of toxic shithead boomers who have no sense of what fucking honor or good play or good teamwork or good teamsmanship or whatever. They used to do. Remember when you used to go to the fucking soccer field and, like, you would win or you would lose, and they'd have you line up with the other team, and you'd have to shake all their fucking hands even though you hated them, and you say, good game, right? Sportsmanship. Thank you, man who stands. Sportsmanship. Yes. Your sense of sportsmanship. It was cool to be troll for 5 or 10 years. It was cool to do it. You want to know why? Because it was cool to break the social contract. But by 2014, from 2004 until 2014, it was cool to break the social contract and call the guy an F word, F-A blank word, or call the guy a CSer like I do all the time, right? Call the guy a cocksucker to his fucking face or whatever. Like, you know, like, it was cool. Call him a bitch or a loser or tell him to uninstall or whatever. It was cool to do that for 10 years, to act like teenagers who spit and swear and talk shit to each other. I get it. It's cool. We were all teenagers. But now we have a generation of 40-year-old fucking men acting like teenagers who have no concept of what the fucking word sportsmanship is. And so, you think it's easy for me? You think it's easy for me to throw the heart sign after getting wasted by 7 people? You think it's easy for me to say, heart sign, good kill, guys, good fight, I'm visiting here, I've never been here, to explain to them why I'm getting ganked so badly, right? I've never been here. Tell them I'm a noob, and they say, don't come back, right? Yeah, I say, yeah, I'm not gonna come back. No. Your game can die. Yeah, I'm not gonna come back. No. I'm not going back to Pokefen. No. And your game can die. You can be a Pokefen butt dweller all you want, and your game can fucking die for you. And no, I'm not going to come back. And this is why we're slowly, and I mean, there is a direct effect from this. These games like DayZ are sliding on down. That Rust, DayZ, EVE Online. Where's EVE Online on this list? Like, New World slid down that fucking list when they realized how really toxic a lot of those fucking people actually are. They rather sit around and play a single-player game like Starfield because they know that the fucking companion in Starfield isn't gonna tell them, no, don't come back. You know, the companion in Starfield isn't gonna shit on your head when you visit the sewer. So these kids are playing Starfield. The same amount of people playing the same amount of people playing DayZ are playing Starfield because they know that that single player experience is not gonna make them feel like shit when they go amongst the community. and I'm sick of seeing it. So I throw the heart sign. You think that's easy for me? What I want to say is fuck you for 7v1ing me, you fucking loser cockheads who showed up inside of 5 seconds like the born losers that you are. You crawled out of the fucking woodwork before I could even warp out of the place. I was already warping out of the place before those guys showed, and they showed before I could even warp out, which means that they were on a 5-second drop time to run a 7-man gank on a 1-man, like fucking born losers, you know? And like, it sucks to watch them like behave like that. Go take the roam on a pipeline and get a nice 5-man fight and feel amazing afterwards. Don't go gank a naked and call yourself kings. You're not fucking kings. You're not fucking tough. You're rough. You're not tough. You're rough. You're rough around the edges. That's why the women won't talk to you. Treating your fucking community like this. You think it's easy for me to throw the fucking heart sign up? No. But I do it every fucking Overwatch match. I do it every fucking Fortnite match or whatever. I do it every game that I play that's got a text chat box. If I lose in it, I say heart sign, good fight. Because that's the GG. Remember how the Halo boys all got rich in the YouTube community because they kept saying GG, 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 GG. What do you think that actually means? It means good game. So I think to you it means good God or something, you're bad. To you it means good God, you're bad. But to me it means good game. You know, and that's the difference. Like, you know, we used to say GGs, instead it's like, nah, don't come back, don't play the game anymore. On what, a 7v1 kill? You kill me 7v1 and you say don't come back? I say you don't come back. You don't come back to the game. You're shitting up the place with your bad attitude. You don't come back. You don't come back to my game. Anyways. Gotta go out to mine, I guess. They think because they're PvPing, it's just like real life. They think because they're crazy or whatever, it gives them some fucking license to run slipshod all over everybody. It's like some excuse to go crazy, essentially. They think because they're in a PvP community, it's an excuse to act like a fucking shithead. It's not.
Autopilot engaged.
It's not a reason. It's not a valid reason. If you guys used honor and treat each other honorably, PvP would dominate PvE. It would be far more popular. You know it would be. Look at how popular Fortnite was, or PUBG or any of those. PvP is popular when you guys aren't allowed to talk to each other, like Fortnite, you know? When you're not allowed to talk to each other, it's popular. But the minute that you shit up the place with your fucking... You think it's so popular and so awesome to be a toxic shithead? Do you think people give you props for this? Has anybody ever given you props for being a toxic shithead? So I don't consider this conversation that I'm having as toxic even, because everything I'm saying is true. You know what I'm saying? It's like true. I'm not saying it to like troll you. I'm saying it because I'm despairing because it's true. I'm despairing because everything I'm saying is true. It's not too good, man. I need you to stop shitting up my communities with that shit. Like, okay, I did this thing in Overwatch. I could go show you right now. I can show you. Like, when Overwatch 2 launched, there was so many shithead boomers talking shit in the fucking party chat, or the lobby chat, right? That I just stopped talking to them. I turned off my mic because all it led to was terrible arguments with terrible people. And I started throwing heart signs in the team chat at the end of the match, whether I won or lost, right? It was a personal fucking experiment. I still do it every single day almost. I throw the heart in the sign, even if I really hate the people. I still act like an honorable motherfucker and I move forward, right? And so guess what? I come back to Overwatch 2 like a year later, and every single match, there's at least 3 people dropping heart signs at the end of it. And yeah, you can call it woke, you can call it liberal. I'm so far leftist, ultra-liberal, I'm basically an anarchist. I don't believe in lawless rule, but I would have it if I could. I don't believe in it, but I would have it if I could. It would be better than what we have right now. You know, I'm close to anarchist. It's like right on the cusp of it, right? So, like, you know, I don't really believe, but I don't really believe in stuff like a social contract. I don't. But I do believe in treating your community fucking well, treating your community with sense of honor. That's all. That's all. I've got to get off it. You know, I got to get off the... To all the new people and maybe even the pilot who saw this spiel, thank you for hanging around through the rage. But I'm like honestly, this rage is righteous, you know? I know it's not good to feel righteous rage. I feel it all the time. And it's an anger and a rage that I am signing up for that I shouldn't sign up for. But I think it's a pretty normal anger to see indecency in your community towards anybody who could be a kid. The problem is, I could be a kid. I'm not, but I could have been a kid, right? And if they treated a kid who threw a heart sign and said "good fight" at the end of the fight, it says "good fight, boys" at the end of the fight, and the guy shits on him and tells him to uninstall the game or whatever, right? I say, what if that's a kid? What if the kid does uninstall the game? What if the kid does uninstall the game because you told him to uninstall the game? He was like, well, if this is the people that I'm gonna meet, like I coming up in my Rust clan, we had like 15 and 16-year-old young impressionable boys in there, and it's one of the reasons why I left the clan. I was like, I don't really want to be around kids anymore. I'm not a guy. I'm not a kid. I like kids, and I've raised a kid before. I'm good with kids, but I don't like being around kids because they haven't been like through all the shit that I've been through. So they're liable to make fun of you for being in the system or something like that. They don't know what it means. They don't know what that means, you know? So like playing with the kids, I began to understand how really impressionable they were. Every fucking language that I used, they picked up and started using. They picked up all the boomer language that I used when I came up in the World of Warcraft arena community back in 2005 or whatever it was, 2007. Like fucking, I started using that language around them, and I had to have like two of my best friends step to me and be like, you understand, they're copying everything you're saying. They're acting like you. They're raging out every time they lose. They're acting like clone copies of you, and you have to stop this. And they were like, on top of it, you're doing it to complete enemies in the voice chat too. And they're getting twisted and they're treating us badly and they're acting like you. Your shitty boomer attitude. My friend John and my friend Lucky both stepped to me and they were like, you have to stop responding to these people. You're training them how to be bad people. You're causing toxicity. You're fighting them all the time. You don't ever back down from them, and that's what they need to be happy and let it go and all this shit. And they're like, you have to let it go. You can't respond to it like this. I can in my channel. I can in my channel, and I did it in the local chat too. I said, nah, born loser, obvious born loser scrub is obvious born loser. You know, I just said it to him because it's like your attitude is obvious born loser. It's like straight up is. So, you know, and it took me a long time to evolve above it, where I was like, I really want to fucking cyberbully every motherfucker that kills me, or every motherfucker that I think's bad, or every motherfucker that I have an advantage on, or whatever the fuck. I really want to just cyberbully every motherfucker that I come across in a PvP game. It's just this old desire in me. I don't know what it is. It's like cyberbullying, pretty much. And so, you know, I had to evolve beyond that. And how I did so was throwing the heart sign instead of the hate sign. It starts at home in the heart, you know. Revolution starts in the kitchen, you know, at home in the heart, you know. Chemistry starts in the kitchen. It has to brew in the pot before it can become a bomb, you know. And so I brew it in my heart. I brew the changes necessary to move forward. Like, you know, I try to brew them. Like one of the things I understand about being a streamer was they said. You need to be the change that you wish to see in the world. And so now I react way more toxic than that guy was. He said one sentence. I went off on a 45-minute fucking rant, right? It was not commensurate to how he acted. But it is commensurate to how he acted. If you treat my community, if you treat people like that in my community, I will treat you like this. I will go on a 45-minute fucking rant that I will publish. I will publish me screaming at you tonight. I will publish it. I will show the world how you're killing my favorite games. You are killing my favorite games. How else would you look at it?
Autopilot jumping.
Honestly, how many pilots are going to throw the heart sign and say GF after a fight anyways? Probably half of them. So that like half the pilots won't even do it. So the other half that do, you treat like shit afterwards? What in the literal fuck is wrong with you, toxic shithead? What in the literal fuck is wrong with you? And my point is righteous. I made my point in front of 60 people one time, and I'll do it in front of 60 million. I don't care. I'll make this point in front of 60 million, and I'm not wrong either. You know I'm not wrong. I'm going to turn the EvE music off now. We've had it for a couple of hours. Been pretty good. Oh, my 60 million ship, no. Oh no, 7v1. Oh, I feel so bad. I'm so bad for losing a 7v1.
There's so much to talk about. I'm probably going to talk about this over the course of the next few streams. Overall, the Season of Discovery announcement, when it happened, there's some degree of reading between the lines. There's some degree of like, I just straight up know from talking to people, right, like what their sentiments are. Here's what I feel like should be done given the situation. When we first heard the announcement, myself and I think of a lot of people were like, question mark, Season of Discovery. It sounded like some bullshit. My initial reaction to them explaining what Season of Discovery is, it sounded like it was...
I have something else to say about personal growth, right? So I know how hypocritical it is to talk shit for 20 fucking years exactly like that clown, and then immediately pretty much evolve in the space of a couple of months because I'm a streamer, and immediately poo-poo that behavior and never do it again unless I'm treated the same way, right? And I know it's hypocritical to give it up like some kind of bad habit like cussing or whatever, and then get so angry at somebody for cussing 5 days after I used to treat people like that. I know I'm being hypocritical. It's hypocritical, it is. So, but change has to happen at some point. If I don't start changing and throw the heart sign instead of the middle finger, and then start throwing the middle finger at the people who throw the middle finger, things won't change. Things will not change. Like, I'm sure in the civil rights movement after Martin Luther King was shot by a white man who was brainwashed by COINTELPRO and MK Ultra and the CIA, that I'm sure that the black community really, really felt that pain, right? And at some point, someone in that community had to say, let it be. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. And I promise that I will try to evolve to a better place where... Please, Charm. Please, Charm. Oh, wow. You didn't even do it. Okay, I'm paralyzed. I'm fucking paralyzed. That's why this is happening. Okay, just fight the mob then. Paralyzed. You ate my divine seal, you fucking asshole. Wow. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Please, 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 please. Nope, nope. I'm gonna die. I gotta keep trying, I guess. I can't do anything. I guess I can remove the Paralina. Yeah. Yeah, I got it, I got it. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Get it, 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 get it. I got it. One more. I might get the web skill before he TPs me. Maybe. Let's see. I'm at 760. It won't do. I won't make it. Nope, here it comes. I died. That's okay. Oh, well, no, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see. Oh, I might make it. I might make it. Let's see. Nope. It always comes down to one hit. I'm always one hit away from living. It's so annoying. Because I come back 1 millisecond too late. It's always 1 millisecond because I'm old. If I was younger, I would be coming back like a second earlier. And I would be one hit earlier, as you can see. And but I'm because I'm old and I'm trying to triple box. Speaking of which, yep, reconnect. I die, and that's okay. I'm actually enjoying the Beastmaster deaths, and I know that sounds like loser talk, but if it was easy, it would suck. And honestly, part of the challenge is not dying while you're AFK all the time. It is actually part of the challenge. It's funny. So yeah, it's hypocritical for me to turn around and be like, yeah, I've changed, so now I want to talk shit about you who haven't changed, right? But that's how change works. Once you actually change and you realize the error of your ways, you want to talk shit to the people who can't evolve like you. And I realize that it's a cliche and it's cheesy and it's bad form and I don't like it really and I shouldn't do it. But there it is. When the guy causes me to hit the roof, you can see I have a trigger. And honestly, I see this a lot. I would say I've seen 200 times recently. I just let it go. But that guy in a 7v1 treating me like garbage when I'm getting killed by a 7-man. It rubbed me the wrong way. It stuck out. It stuck out in terms of toxicity. It did. It stuck out. Stay in fucking high sec. I've been more null sec than you. I've probably been in more poke ven than you. Piece of shit. Stay in high sec. Stay in poke ven, shithead cocksucker loser. Stay in poke ven. Stay away from us. That's why you're in poke ven. No one else can stand you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dumb. I went through the door. AFK on the other screen. It's kind of funny. So after that nice Saturday night rage, I will not be going out to nullsec for a while. Every time I do, it's a bad experience. Like every single time. I keep thinking, maybe they made nullsec this place that we can go to now. But no, some toxic shithead shows up every single fucking time. Like pretty much. It's like clockwork. Their whole culture is based around it. If they weren't swimming around the water like sharks all the time, they wouldn't be good PvPers, you know? And I wish they would just leave it be. Watch PAX Day kill EVE Online outright when the high sec becomes normal, even for the PvPers, you know? And they're gonna be like, oh god, all that shit I used to talk in EVE Online killed the game. Yeah, it did. Yeah, all that shit you used to talk in EVE Online killed the game. Yeah. And PAX Day is gonna show it. PAX Day is gonna surprise you. You're gonna be like, oh my god, I talked all that shit for 20 years about high sec, but I live in high sec for the next 20 years. And you'll understand finally that you had a small brain, small little clammy, small town, small pond brain, wormy little brain. And you just think everything's bad, including high sec. No. I have lived in nullsec more than you. And I still live in high sec. Trust me. I've been doing the game longer than you. It's a personal choice to be in high sec that has nothing to do with skill. And anybody with skill would know it. And PAX Day is gonna fucking show. PAX Day will show it. You know, it's gonna force you to see it. That smart people live in high sec. Only idiots live in the sewer like you.
On the same
nice, good people, like they live in like Northern California. They don't live in the desert, you know.
Like pristine servers. Okay, we're not trying to give you guys like
the desert is where you get Vegas and drugs and gambling and
legacy servers. We're not trying to give you guys classes.
Nice people don't live in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. So go back to Vegas. Thank God that Vegas isn't everywhere. If the entire world was Vegas, this world would be a complete piece of shit, you know? Thank God Vegas isn't everywhere, you know? And you can just sit in Vegas and call me bad for visiting it and tell me to go back to LA. Sure, I'll go back to LA where I don't get fucking shot at all day by idiots like you. I'll go back to LA where I don't get shot at by like idiots like you. Enjoy Fallujah and tell me to go back to LA more. Yeah, tell me to go back to LA more. Yeah, I'm going back to LA. I'm in LA right now. I'm in LA, and guess what? There's many people around me, and they're all happy because they're not being shot at all day like idiots like you. They're all happy. They're having the time of their lives. They're like, oh man, this game's so cool. We're having fun. We're learning and we're like doing stuff and we're doing like exploration and all this shit, right? Or they could be like you and they can fear every person that comes in the door, and they can freak out and they can have PvP fights and call people garbage after they say good fight, you know, and all this stuff. Or they could be like you and they can go to, you know, Fallujah and act like Fallujah's cool. But no, the Fallujah sewer that I just visited isn't cool. No, it's full of people like you. I love using metaphors that actually work for these people so they can actually understand their reality. Yeah, I visited the sewer. You shat on my head from a hole in the ceiling. With 7 people shat on my head from a hole in the ceiling. Like a glory hole in the ceiling. And it was the experience that I thought it was going to be, which is why I went in there in crappy clothes that I bought from the thrift store. And yeah, the shit from the ceiling happened. The 7 people shitting on me from the ceiling happened. And you opened your legs and you looked down there and you're like, good, never come back to the sewer. I won't come back to the sewer. No, it's full of pieces of shit like you.
Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Anyways. God damn it, I have to get off it, but it's so fun to just give in to trolling because I've been resisting it for a long, long time here. Like 2 months or something. I've just been like trying not to do it. I don't want to go back to the old me. But man, you want to act dishonorably like that? Okay, we're right back to what we were doing like last night. And we lost 60 million, but I mean, we've already made 20 million or something, so it's fine. By the end of the night, I'll have broken even. I'm sorry I visited the sewer. I won't go back. Mr. Shit Person. Oh, and by the way, hey, shithead, if you're in my channel, right, name another PvP game and name the place and the time, and I'll stomp you the fuck in. Name another game beyond EvE, and I'll stomp you in. Someplace where you don't have your little 7-man, and I'll stomp your stupid cock-sucking shithead ass into the fucking ground. Name the fucking game that isn't a 7v1 on EVE Online. And I'll stomp your worthless, skillless, toxic shithead ass in 10,000 times in a row. Name the game. Yeah, I'm sorry I sucked in the sewer. But, yeah. Name someplace other than the sewer, and I'll stomp you the fuck in. You think you're the real PvPer? Nah. I've got kills and wins. I think you sit on EVE Online and you've got 25 kills in your entire lifespan. Just saying. Or you wouldn't have that attitude. You wouldn't act like that. Winners don't act like that.
And a consolation prize. That was my initial reaction, and I felt kind of confused.
I don't like this streamer because he's engaging in the girl repellent. But it's tasteful, at least, and it's successful, so I'm willing to give him the pass. But the girl repellent stuff is a little bit of repulsive to me.
I felt. I don't necessarily like some of the things about it. I don't necessarily like some of the decisions. I feel like they're going a little bit overboard, but I can delve into that a little bit. However, after playing it, I actually thought it was a lot of fun. Got to play with the devs and stuff, which is cool. They got to explain some things a little bit. Ret Paladins are disgusting. I mean, to be fair, Ret was super strong in Season of Discovery. Like, ridiculously strong. But it's kind of unfair to compare my damage to everybody else. Because I'm #1 Ret Paladin, baby. Look. The Lion of Stormwind, okay? The Persian Lion, the Lion of Stormwind, the Grand Marshal Scarab Lord, okay? Back to back, 2-time Gladiator, all right? Season 3, Season 4. Got Gladiator 6 days before I went to Korea. I was on vacation okay? Sipping on soju in South Korea while I was getting Gladiator, all right? I didn't care. I was fully confident. I knew I was going to...
See, I went within 15 points, and I came up against this guy. I'm sure I did. Like, fucking, I went within 15 points. I went to, what was it, fucking Rival, I guess? Rival, which is the top 5% of the community.
Get Glad. Safe Glad 6 days before the end of the season.
Yeah, and we didn't get Safe Glad. We got to 2385. Glad was 2400. And we were like, we either take the Rival or we die 3 or 4 times and drop below 23 and we don't even get Rival. And so we stopped.
All right? That's how damn good I am. It's kind of unfair to compare. Also, I had, like, my add-ons.
Like, they don't talk about this, but high-end arena ladder, I've actually been there. Like, most people haven't been there. They think they have, but they haven't. Like, fucking actual fucking, like, high-end ladder is just win trading. And it's in this way that you fight a match and you're in the zone, and then they fight a match and they're in the zone, and then they fight somebody else, and then they come back and they've lost morale, and you win trade with a lot of the same teams, kind of. You don't kibitz, you don't like talk to them, but you do see the exact same 15 or 20 teams over and over and over and over again. But it's very incestuous, and then all you have to do is change your strategy to adapt to deal with those 15 or 20 teams, how to survive them and win. And we had made our attempt at Gladiator, and I've been trolled on this channel before by idiots about this, but I will say it, right? We went for Gladiator, and I'm shit you not, and it sounds crazy, but you can't make this up. I was Disc Priest, we had a Blood Death Knight, and a Prop Pally. And I went within 15 points of Glad, and you begin to understand. And we actually did that. We had a Prop Pally, a Disc Priest, and a fucking Blood Decay. And we went within 15 points of Glad. We didn't make it. Because of all the top 25 teams, we were number 25. So I never got my Glad like this guy, because I went with a team of friends who I wasn't going to tell them to change their classes. We could have maybe done TSG or modified TSG, which would have been Red Pally and Frost Death Knight. And that was what won that's what won. I'm sorry, it was modified. It was Holy modified TSG. No, I mean TSG is Holy Paladin. It's trained squishy guy, right? We lost to 12 of the top teams were TSG, which was Frost Death Knight, Red Paladin, and Holy Paladin. Because you got, 2 bops and 2 bubble or whatever, a bop and a bubble, or 2 bops or 2 bubbles, or whatever, and then I'm sorry, it wasn't Red Pally, it was Warrior, it was Arms War, Frost Death Knight, and Holy Paladin, and that's TSG, and you can't tank an Arms War and a Frost Death Knight. You can't do it. It doesn't matter who you are. You'd have to have a frost block or a Holy Paladin, a bubble to live. So yeah, we could survive. We could survive TSG, and we could beat them like half the time. But they usually just killed me, right? The Warrior and Death Knight on a Disc Priest, like even with the Prop Pally's like bop and stuff, is still really hard. The matches will last like 27 minutes and shit like that, and they finally get the bitter. Like they finally get the bitter kill on the Disc Priest, and I lose half my matches because of what's called dampening, which means that my heals get, like, their damage never changes, but they stacked it against the healers that season, where dampening reduced my heals to nothing around like minute 35 or so. You couldn't even have heals that would heal you anymore. They were so weak, and that's how they fixed it against me, or we would have actually gone to Glad. I can tell you exactly how it happened, and my friends can back this up. They were there. I can call my friend Kaiser in to verify this physically. I have witnesses and people who were actually there. That's what happened to us. So I went at what he went at with a different comp. There was a joke comp, and almost got there. And understand, and I've been trolled on this channel before for not making it to Glad, but I did make it to Rival with Disc Priest, Prop Pally, and fucking Blood Decay, which is the hardest comp that you could possibly do. It's the hardest, slowest, longest comp that you can possibly do. Every kill is like 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Because Prop Pally and Blood Decay don't do damage, and Neither does Disc. But if all three of them are wailing on somebody when they're out of cooldowns, we could kill their healer. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. It's Prop Pally and Blood Decay. They do hurt. They just don't hurt like rogues do, or MM Hunters or Arcane Mages. They just do their slow, sustained tank damage, and eventually they've cracked you out of your trinket and out of your fucking outs and out of your fucking, you know, all that shit. And like then the Disc Priest runs dots and a mind control on one of the DPS, and they drop him to low, and then I penance for the kill with a power word death. And honestly, I was the one who was getting the kills that won the matches, believe it or not, because I'm the only one with execute damage. I had penance and I had pow pain all my career, so I could go penance, pow pain, and like 2 in a row or 3 in a row, and they were all really fast. It was like 1.7 seconds of actual spells, and I would do the damage to kill the healer while they're like, I would drop the MC guy behind a pillar, and then I would run dots on the healer while he was MC'd, and then they get him down to like 17%, and I drop the MC at the end of the 8 seconds, and I run the penance and the dots and the fucking the pow pain, and that will drop him to 1%. That might be enough for the whole maybe the Blood Decay's got his cooldowns by then, you know, etc. And yeah, and this is how we almost went to Gladiator. So, and I've been trolled on this channel before, but honestly, I believe this guy is in OTK because he was the top rep paladin in the world. I was the second best Disc Priest in the world, short of Billion. So I never was as good as this guy or as good as the best. But I did have the silver crown. I was the rival priest, you know. And I like clearing the record, and I have the achievements. I have the rival achieve. I can show it. I don't need to, but I have it. And I dislike being doubted about this because it happened, you know. That happened. And so now, like, you know, he keeps jamming me is why this sucks so bad. Yeah, like, put the mining drones away for a second. Can you actually kill this thing? No, he just showed up is why. I need herbs to pop. What I'm really doing here is sitting around waiting for herbs to pop, and it's not happening. It's so annoying. Yeah, so now get some targets up.
The asteroid is depleted.
So, okay, where I was going with this, I didn't finish what I was talking about. So, this guy, he started streaming before he did his arena push. I wish I had done that, but I didn't have the computer. I wasn't a trust fund kid like these. Often you'll see these guys, they have successful parents who are upper middle class or straight up rich. And so they had the trust fund money to have this girl repellent in the background, which is why they have the girl repellents in the background, is because they want to show that they had daddy's money, that they were sitting around on someone else's dime. I was out of the house by the age of 16 and paying rent. And so I didn't have this trust fund money and daddy's money to do this stuff, right? And so I didn't start streaming. I stole my computer that I went to Rival on. I stole the computer I went to Rival on. Shit you not, I stole the computer. And that computer sucked, and it was 4 years old, and it would die on Sinestra and get my guild killed, and I've got witnesses for that too. I've got witnesses for all of this. People who, like, Bagon can back up these stories. It's true. And where was I going about this? So he was able to stream that period when he went to Glad in his life. I was not. Now he's in OTK making like $10 to $20 million. And I wonder sometimes, had I televised what I had done earlier, if I had been famous more earlier. right now I'm doing grindy, old, slow games because they won't make new MMOs. But I think the fact that I have 60 on every NA server on New World, all rich, all in the highest eye level possible, that I have a capacity to slaughter new MMOs at a higher rate faster than most people do. And I think I have a big future ahead of me when I'm given the right challenge, but we don't have one right now. So if PAX Day hits and it's a hit, or if AOC is good, or if Enshrouded is super good, or any of these new titles, right? New World isn't good enough, but if there's a title where 4 million people hang around long enough that it's like a new old golden age heyday of MMOs, I could see making hay while the sun is shining and doing really well in my career, even though it's just a personal history. And I yearn for this because I have costs. This has costs like computers and internet and bills and such. This stuff has costs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I guess I'm mining too. Okay. Yep. Now where am I out here? I'm good. I'm right where I want to be. No, too late. God damn it. 62 fishing. I'm almost done with the fishing part of this, and then I can start just roaming, looking for herbs, and I'll be able to leave this place and move forward. It's slow. It's slow, this process. It's so slow. It's always dreamed I could play 3 games like this at once, because real MMOs are so slow that it feels really good to make progress in all 3 at once. It feels so good. Like fucking really good. Yeah. I hope that I infect a bunch of MMO players with my style. I think it's a good style. Because MMOs make you wait too long, and it would suck if they didn't, you know? If the cast wasn't 30 seconds, if this fishing cast wasn't 30 seconds, it would suck. It would suck. It would suck really bad. Like, I mean, it would have to be a lot more dynamic, like Rust. Next year, I'm going to play Rust on the zombie server, but I'm going to do it fishing. I'm going to be a fisherman. And I'm going to get all my XP from the fisherman chart, and I'll sit in my base out in the middle of nowhere, out on some island with like nothing but a boat base, right? And a door that pops out to the water. And I'm going to fish on Rust to get to cap. And that's how I'm going to turn Rust into an MMO. I'm going to turn it into an MMO, just like all the other MMOs. Rust is kind of an MMO. It's kind of funny. Tiger. He's tough. I don't want him. Oh, he's too, like, 1 level higher. Oh, wrong game. Damn it. Gotta do this. I gotta remember to cycle back to WoW so I can get back to the fishing pole with 1 click and get to it in time. Oh, the other one is EM. That's good. We'll take him. Oh, good. We got him. Very good. So, good. Go. Oh, go back and get my fishing. Yeah.
The asteroid is depleted.
Okay. Go target. Go, yep. Got it. Good. Now the tiger's got hate. Oh, sorry, I was scratching my arm. Yeah, and I think one of the beautiful things about playing 3 games at once is I don't have to go do the bad parts of the games. And I think that's another thing that's really good about it. Like, I think a lot of people are going to grind PAX Day, and they're going to, like, take it really seriously. And I think I want to sit in high sec. Like I'm going to do this in Enshrouded, too. I'm going to sit in some relatively safe place, and I'm going to journey down into the land and get my kills there. Enshrouded is so good. I should go look at Enshrouded news. Because I like this, but... So, I wish I had started streaming as early as him, and I'm glad I've done it now, because I think I could have gone places like him. I believe he probably has more achievement points than me, because he never did stop maining WoW. And he is the best red palette in the world. But, I don't care about Ret Paladin. I don't respect Ret Paladin. Of all the fucking jobs, Paladin, the 3 specs in Paladin, I don't respect any of them. I'm sorry, I respect Holy Paladin just fine, and I would play Holy Paladin. But Prod and Ret Paladin can go fuck itself, and I don't respect this guy for being the best Ret Paladin in the world. To me, being the second best Disc Priest in the world is actually of higher stature than the top Ret Paladin in the world. I actually, in my own estimation, I actually did something harder than what he did. All he did was kill people all day.
Your skill has increased.
I healed 2,000 matches. You know what I'm saying? All he did was click his wings button. I healed 2,000 fucking matches. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm gonna make some dinner. I'll be back in later. See ya, man who stands.
Your skill has increased.
See ya, buddy. Come on, get it, get it, get it. No, he interrupted. No, he's gonna kill me. One hit again. One hit, one hit, one hit. No, I was one hit from killing him again. Why is this happening? Come on, man. You keep doing this to me. One hit from kill every single time. I wasn't even AFK that time. You have a problem with your code where it seems to be one hit too far. It's like driving me crazy. It's been 5 in a row now. I've been one hit from the kill. That's you. That's not me. That's you. You've got something wrong with your code on this server. No.
And I brought a Razor Naga. And nobody else had that. But none of that matters, okay? None of that matters, all right? None of that matters. It's the skill, okay? The raw, pure, unadulterated skill. That's how it's doing double damage. I think having a lot of fun doesn't necessarily mean something is good. Just because something is fun, it doesn't mean that it's going to be fun in 2 months, right? And that's where I think you go from being fun to being good. I think that's what the differentiation is between the two. I feel like playing it was a little bit eye-opening. And I also feel like they did an incredible job during the classic panel, right? The team coming up, Agrand, Anna, I mean the whole team, right? Coming up and kind of explaining the different parts of the presentation. I think the presentation was great. And I think they hit on 2 key points during that presentation. The 2 key points during that presentation were that we wanted to stay true to classic, and we wanted to maintain class fantasy. Let's go back and watch the announcement itself. Let's go watch the announcement of Season of Discovery from the opening ceremony. If we can pull that up here, there's Holly. Dude, how about that jacket? Dude, she came out and I was like, damn, like this jacket is sick. And everybody was talking about it on Twitter. Did you guys see that? Yeah, epic armor. Dude, legendary armor.
You're going to discover new secrets as you scour the world and find class-altering abilities.
Dude, I remember hearing this and I was like...
Would it be like to be a tanking warlock?
No.
As soon as she said tanking warlock, I was like...
the role of a mage healer?
I did not. This made me feel weird, dude. It's really hard to try and balance doing conventions and trying to like do stream content and trying to meet people and do everything, but I really try my best, because the way that I see it, I mean, we did BlizzCon 4 years ago. Who knows, whenever you run into somebody or whatever, and it might be the only chance that you get to like get a picture and just say hi, and it might be the only time, right? There's a line between that and like hanging around and having like a long conversation or something like that, because that's just really hard to do with everybody. So then it's like that's a whole thing. But at the very least, I always try my best, unless I have to go do something and I'm running late. I always try to like make time to meet with people, because it might be the only chance, you know? So whenever she gave this announcement, whenever Holly gave this announcement, I felt very conflicted, because there are some things about this that don't feel natural to me. I naturally do not like the idea of mage healers. I naturally do not like the idea of rogue tanks and warlock tanks and all these different things, because of a certain point of emphasis that they had in their presentation later on, which we can look at. And I'm just going to pull up the slide, actually. But it's class fantasy. I understand how you can explain that a mage... I get how you can explain that a mage is healing. I understand how you can explain that. I understand how you can explain that a warlock is tanking. I get how you're trying to do the gymnastics to figure that out. I just feel like a big point of what Classic WoW is... Let me pull up the slide real quick. You see this slide? I was talking to Tim Jones, one of the leads on Classic. I was talking to Tim Jones about this, literally, they put this in the slide. That's why I started laughing so hard, because I was like, the big thing right now, I said some warriors are worried about is that they're going to get nerfed because they're so strong in Classic. And he laughed. And he was like, really? It's funny. And he's like, that's funny you say that. And that's like all he said. It was just like, his reaction was just like, funny. Now, I don't think they're going to actually nerf
Your skill
warriors,
has
but the
increased.
fact that they like recognize that warriors have like this crazy scaling in vanilla that wasn't really apparent 15 years ago, 20 years ago, is kind of funny. The night you did the VR zombie game, you said this too. Yeah, like, interesting that they mentioned that, because like I think he laughed because he knew what was in the presentation, and like I said the same thing. Here's the big thing. Is I am focusing in on really these two key points. Focus on class fantasy and staying true to Classic. And I do think it's very important that these two are key, because I feel like that's what you have in Vanilla WoW and in Burning Crusade, and it starts, what your class does, it is, like, you are a paladin, and you do paladin things, okay? You do paladin things, and
You're a bad class, you have bad abilities.
When you play paladin, you feel like a paladin. When you play a rogue, you do rogue things, and you feel like a rogue.
You do, no, you don't do rogue things. Not on a paladin, you don't. Oh, no, on a rogue you do. But, yeah, like, but yeah, no, paladin, no.
A mage, you do mage things, you feel like a mage. That class fantasy is very, very, very important. That's a key element of what Vanilla WoW is, and it's something that Blizzard has kind of given up over the years for the sake of like balancing the game. Right, I'm talking about this bullet point right here. They want to make the game more balanced. They want to make the game more the changes that they've made over the years, you guys know it all. The problem is as you move away from that class fantasy and you get that feeling of like, if everybody can do everything, or too many classes can do too many things, you start moving away from that class fantasy, because what your class does well stops feeling special. That's why I naturally am opposed to the idea of like mage healing, warlock tanking. It's funny, actually, warlock tanking at first I was like super opposed to. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, maybe that one does kind of fall in the line of like class fantasy, but like rogue tanking doesn't really make sense to me. Mage healing doesn't.
Rogue
really
will
make
never
sense
be
to
able
me.
to tank. It'll
Even
just
with a
have
mage, like, you can be
probably
like, oh,
shorter
look at the idea of,
evasion,
like, a white
something.
mage, right?
Shorter
Like, a white
evasion
mage
skill.
is like a healer. But I think for staying true to classic on the next bullet point.
When they say rogue tank, they don't mean rogue can tank. They mean rogue has taunt. Which doesn't... I mean, you can sub warrior on any class in Final Fantasy XI, and it gives you provoke, and it gives you a nice defense bonus, yeah. But it doesn't make you a fucking tank, and honestly, it's still just only a taunt. And these abilities taunt, they're based off things. And if you don't have that stat, it doesn't matter if your sub job's fucking warrior. If you don't have the stats required to make taunt work, right? It won't matter if you taunt things, and this is what'll happen too. They don't like. I don't think they understand like how subclasses work. Subclasses are half of the main class, so if you're using a taunt, it's only half the level of the taunt that you're at. So if you're a level 25 rogue and a level 12 warrior, or you are a full rogue but you have level 12 rogue abilities through your armor slots and such, or some variation of sub-job stuff, you will be able to taunt, but you'll still take the exact same hits you normally would have as a rogue, because you don't have suddenly a lot more vid. I mean, warrior gets some vid, but it does. You're not going to get like a level 25 warrior's worth of vid. You're going to get a level 12 warrior's worth of vid. Or stam, or whatever it is. Stam, I guess.
The asteroid is depleted.
I don't know. Yeah, like toughness. Is it toughness? I don't know what WoW Classic does for warrior. I forget. Is it toughness? I think it is. Let's look. What is it? It's your armor, right? Yeah. Why is the armor not here? Like, oh, there we go. Armor. Yeah, your armor. There you go. Right. So yeah. So you get a bit more like class dependency on armor, and so warrior gets good damage reduction in plate. So probably do get to wear plate as a rogue, but you still can't take a hit because it doesn't really give you tank armor or tank plate. And yeah, you're tankier, but that's it. You're just tankier. That's it. You know, that's it. And honestly, I could see rogue taking probably honestly priest and doing a lot better with a renew than a rogue taking a warrior sub or warrior sub abilities. And so yeah, a rogue could sub warrior, but I don't know why you would. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, if you're looking to just do pure melee damage, I might sub rogue warrior because I'm AFK all the time. Like the older my character, the higher level that my character gets, the more tanking I'll be doing. So, I'm sorry. The higher the level my rogue gets, the more the more semi AFK I can go because the fights last longer and the melee swings are slower and they do less damage on your bigger bar. It's easier to go AFK the higher level you are, depending on whether you have like link or anything. And I'm gonna buff myself here. I'm going to run around with sprint here and look for herbs. Ooh, minor healing pot, nice. Look like over here for herbs around where the water is.
That's kind of what solidifies those things as things that aren't really like super intrinsic to what classic WoW is. Now I could be wrong, and these things could be fun and fine. I feel like the game kind of starts to unravel a little bit, you know, where all of a sudden everybody is really, really strong. Everybody is really powerful. There's too many different people doing too many different things, which requires you to basically like do things with less people and to have less people. Or less variety in not only what classes you play with, but also less variety.
Sounds good to me.
Who you play with. Like for a paladin can tank, heal, DPS. A druid can tank, heal, DPS. In my opinion, a shaman should be able to off tank and tank 5-mans, heal, and DPS. I think a shaman being a main tank for a raid would be sick, but I think a shaman tank should be at the same level of like maybe slightly better than what a prop paladin tank was, or maybe at the same level of what a prop paladin tank was, but more streamlined in a season of discovery. And you can actually shaman tank, but it's really hard in vanilla, like you can 5-man and stuff like that. But I feel like that's kind of the level that you should be at. I think when they were referring to 60s,
oh, it's 75.
People keep saying we want a classic plus. This isn't classic plus. In my opinion, you're right. This is not classic plus. This is classic plus beta. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. They're trying to throw everything at the wall and see what people like. They're literally testing. And you know what kind of proved that? And I think it was when Agron went up there. Somebody went up there and was talking about how they drew inspiration from the classic beta. Yeah, inspired by WoW Classic Beta. Now, I saw this, and if you guys were watching my BlizzCon stream, I talked about this in between the panels, where I was like, you know what? They're talking about periodically increasing the level, and there's no beta. They're like, guys, season of discovery is here. No beta. We're going right into it. It's coming in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, right? What does that sound like? That sounds like the announcement
Rushing.
of every beta they've ever had. Like, that's what Season of Discovery is. It is in the same vein as what the classic WoW beta was back in 2019, back in May of 2019. They want to go periodically increase the level cap, and they're trying to throw everything in the wall, and they're treating it as if it's its own live service game, and they're going to be trying to get feedback and see what people enjoy and see what people like. And my prediction is that in about a year from now, at the next BlizzCon, we will probably hear about the release of a Classic Plus. I think what a lot of people that say this isn't Classic Plus are wanting. I think you guys are gonna hear like, hey, Classic Plus is coming, or you guys are gonna hear, hey, Classic Plus is coming. We've learned a lot from Season Discovery. We're gonna be releasing a new fresh, this and that. We've made some changes. We've learned a lot, and this is the product. And the reason why I think they're doing this, I think they're doing this for multiple reasons, but the key reason is that Blizzard has one chance to do Classic Plus the right way. You can say, just look at Turtle WoW, just look at this, or just look at Ascension. I don't think the Ascension route is a good idea, personally. I do think there's some stuff that you can do to kind of like maybe broaden some of the kit of some of the classes and stuff like that. But I think when you get to the point where you're changing roles, like again, I think specifically rogue tanking is kind of dumb. I think mage healing is kind of dumb. That's just to name a couple, right? But what I would like to see is I would like to see a way that like a two-handed warrior spec for DPS would be made more at my to my own loss here. I would like to see like a two-handed warrior spec be a little bit stronger in PvE. And I say at my own loss because right now I play a rat paladin and I have no competition for two-handed weapons and raids, right? But I do think something like that is good for the game. I'm sad that Classic Plus isn't gonna have that classic feel. Well, and that's the key. I feel like they do need to have that. I feel like they do need to have that. And I think to have that classic feel, you need to tighten it down a little bit. And I'm worried you're going a little bit overboard. And I want to talk about something else. How many of you guys watched me do the raid? How many of you guys watched me do BFD? If you check out when I did the BFD raid, there's got to be a comment sometime soon. This one. There we go. Dude, next time I go to a convention, I'm bringing my own mic. This thing is brutal. I had all my own stuff. Like, I was fully prepared for this thing in every way except for having a better mic setup. We did this raid, and like at first I didn't really understand the mechanics of the fight, but I realized what they are. I feel like having run BFD, I realized what they are, and then I kept trying to blow the raid up, and then could you guys hear? I think you guys couldn't hear comms for like half of it. Guzu was like screaming. He's like, dude, who is blowing us up? And I just kept running back at the raid trying to kill everybody. But it was just really easy. So I was like, whatever. Because I tried to wipe the group and we just wouldn't wipe. Like, I was like, okay, well, but yeah, it was great. So anyway, I'm like out here, and one of the things I noticed here, I'll play it on mute. You know, we've got Crusader Strike, we've got Seal of the Martyr, Command. I feel like they're focusing on things that you can see too much. And now I understand why they do that, because that's what the average person looks at. I really would have liked to see an emphasis on some under-the-hood style of changes, rather than just throwing a bunch of abilities out at you. So as you can see here, one of the things I noticed about this fight, about the mechanics of BFD, I swear I jumped there, by the way, and it like wasn't sticking. Okay, I'm gonna blame the keyboard. Okay, what the frick, HyperX? Okay, that's why I use my razor. That's why I use my razor here. Okay. Anyway, so I felt like the whole time. I'm literally top damage. I felt like I was top damage. I was fighting against the environment, as opposed to fighting against the boss. And that is like a key element of what raiding and retail was. That was the key element of what raiding and retail is. Is like you're doing all kinds of mechanics to like avoid certain things, you're moving around. And like retail WoW has a lot of like movement displacement abilities, like Paladins have Divine Steed, Mages have 2 blinks, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like when we were doing this boss, it was kind of like we were just chilling. You know, like all this crazy stuff is happening. We're getting ported around, and this plays more like a holiday event boss to me than what would be like. Okay, this is how classic raids are. You know, I don't necessarily like this. I feel like this is they need to find ways to choose the mechanics of the boss fights to make them feel more like classic. It's cool, like actually hitting my buttons felt cool, all that stuff. Like that was fun. But like I said, it just did not feel like classic. I feel like I'm fighting the environment as opposed to fighting the boss too much. Another example of this is on the turtle boss, Kamura. On the turtle boss, like they were like, okay, you have to get through his like bubble shield, right? That's the mechanic. You get through his bubble shield, whatever, but you have to avoid the balls, right? Again, I'm fighting the environment more than I'm fighting the boss. Is how it feels. Now we only saw a couple of bosses, and then to be fair, I didn't really see the last boss because I just kind of like pulled everything and I died. But that was the recurring theme of this whole thing. Whenever we were doing mechanics, and the mechanics of the fights is too much of fighting the environment and not enough of fighting the boss. And again, I've said it like 100 times, so you guys are like, okay, S-Man, we get it. For me, having played it, but you guys watching it or just hearing how I felt, how does that make you guys feel? It's not just doing mechanics, right? Like, I'm not complaining about doing mechanics. It's just the way that the mechanics are done are not in the same vein as what you would typically see in Classic. Because I do think there's a line there, but what I would have liked to see more is, like, let's say instead of all these bubble spawns or something, like, let's do something where it spawns ads. They should be doing something with ad spawns. You know, so that's something that you want to stay true to Classic and keep that Classic feel. I think there are times where you can fight against the environment, don't get me wrong. In the little bit that we've seen, I felt like I felt like I was doing a retail raid. In the little bit that we saw, I felt like I was doing a retail raid. And I'm not asking for more tank and spank. What I'm asking for is like classic-like mechanics, like ad spawns coming in with turtles. I do think there are some things that like you should avoid the environment and whatnot. I don't get me wrong, but I feel like that was like the primary emphasis as opposed to just fighting the boss. Because yeah, there's times where you're inviting the environment in Nax. That's Safety Dance is a good example, right? Safety Dance in Nax is a good example where you're fighting the environment. How do you guys get Wind Fury with no Shaman? They gave Wind Fury to Feral Druids. That's one of their runes, which is cool. It's called Wild Strikes, and it's essentially Wind Fury. Not familiar with WoW enough to have an opinion on this. They gave no pally buffs to Horde. Well, Horde is fine. They'll get over it. Okay. No, they should probably what they should do is give like a blessing of salvation to the Horde side. Yeah, they should probably give like blessing of salvation. That's the key thing that I think Horde would need for PvE is finding like a blessing of salvation replacement, because what Horde has in Classic normally is they have like it's the wind totem, which you use for Wind Fury, is also their threat increase. I killed myself with Judgment of Blood right there. Didn't they confirm that Shaman had a version of Salve? Oh, did they? Because they have it now, but you have to trade that or Wind Fury. Talking about focusing on class fantasy and just giving the main Shaman tool to Druid. Well, it's called Wild Strikes. I mean, I think that's fine. I mean, you could say the same thing about yeah, I think that's fine. I do think there's certain things that are super strong that you should find a way. I think Feral Druid is the class that you'd give it to, and I think having some kind of blessing of salvation type thing for Horde is also important. I think that is a good idea. Doesn't giving Wind Fury to Druids free up the Shaman Salve totem? It could. You're right. Was seal twisting possible? Seal twisting. So if you want to get into the Paladin nitty gritty. It's not possible in the same way that it is in Burning Crusade with Blood and Command, or Martyrdom and Command. It works in the same way that it works on Era, which kind of isn't really good, because it just burns a ton of mana, but maybe it doesn't matter that you burn so much mana because you have ways of getting mana back with Crusader Strike, but you also get mana back from Seal of Martyrdom, and I think Seal of Blood, Martyrdom is all the same word, because I'll use them all interchangeably. And I think that when it comes to that, you're going to be doing Command and Righteousness, and you don't get the mana back from Martyrdom, so maybe it's not even worth still. But long story short, and I know this might not be like the popular sort of opinion, because I do think it was fun. I am just worried that they are doing too much, and they are going overboard with it just slightly. And you're losing that core element, class fantasy and classic, and staying true to classic. And those are 2 bullet points, and it makes me feel good that they mentioned it because they know it. I also feel good about the people working on Classic, because I know so many of them personally at this point, and I know that they love Vanilla WoW. They love Classic WoW. They love Burning Crusade, they love Vanilla, they love Wrath. I do feel confident that they're going to do their best, regardless of anything. They're going to do their best and that line of communication is open, right? I have I feel very good about the line of communication with Blizzard right now, more so than I felt even before Classic came out. And I felt very good about the line of communication with Blizzard. Like, I talked to Omar constantly before Classic came out. Now, he might not tell me what they were doing, because I mean, that's his job, and you know, obviously he can't tell me certain things. But Omar was like just, I'm telling you, this guy was the freaking knight in shining armor for the Classic community. He really carried hard. My general consensus so far is that Blizzard...
Yeah, when the devs actually really like the game, they care a lot more. Which is natural. You can't force someone to care about something that they don't like that much. I think it's weird that we have developers working on things that they don't like. I think that should be never happen. It's sort of odd. It's like a band singing music that they don't like. It's very weird. It's like, it makes no sense.
Your skill has increased.
I feel very confident. The line of communication is there. I've talked to them quite a bit. I talked to... I didn't do an interview, like a content
Your skill
interview,
has increased.
but I spent a lot of time talking to multiple Classic devs that weekend. Like, it's funny because I spent a lot of time on stream. I streamed like 30 hours at BlizzCon. Like, my plan with my BlizzCon streams was I wanted to give you guys the ultimate BlizzCon experience, right? Whether I was able to go from Warcraft Rumble to Season of Discovery to doing a panel. I felt really, really good. I feel like that was one of the best streams I've ever done. From like
almost died in one hit from the kill again.
I was very proud of that stream, and being able to go from like playing Warcraft Rumble, like starting out IRL,
this is 100%
and doing this, which I don't think anybody successfully pulled off before. Where I'm like IRL walking around, to being able to do a live reaction in the crowd.
The 25 leveling bracket across all classes.
This rune for Warlock. Wow,
like this made me proud, and this was Guac Senpai and TT were running this on the back end,
Season of Discovery
and
I'm on providing new group content.
That was amazing that they were able to pull this off.
Now, first, I want everyone to take a moment.
Now, what kind of sucks is you guys are watching me. I'm looking at my phone a lot. Well, when I'm looking at chat sometimes, but also I'm like talking to them and making sure everything's good. So like anytime I do this, I'm gonna be looking at my phone a lot, just so you guys know. It's not that I'm not paying attention. I'm just making sure that you guys have the best experience. But yeah, I felt really, really good about that. To kind of dial it back a little bit, when we did BFD, I feel like they should redo some of the mechanics a little bit in order for it to feel a little bit more like Classic. Also, I'll say something else, and I haven't really seen this criticism. Probably, maybe I just haven't seen it. Maybe it's there. I feel like BFD was kind of a bad choice for the first raid of Season of Discovery. BFD is too much like Molten Core. It feels like a wet Molten Core. And I feel like because Molten Core is what it is at level 60, like this kind of it's kind of claustrophobic. You're in the caves, you're going into water and out of water, up and down. And what I think would have been a better choice would have been Shadowfang Keep. I think a Shadowfang Keep would have been amazing.
Yep.
I feel like Shadowfang Keep would have been absolutely.
Shadowfang Keep is so much
better.
better.
You gotta say it's too hard for Alliance to reach, but keep in mind this is Classic plus Beta. This is Season of Discovery. Maybe something is put in. Maybe there's a new flight path put in that makes it easier to get there. But dude, Shadowfang Keep, Orugal at the end of it. I mean, it's iconic, right? I think Shadowfang Keep would have been amazing. Unfortunately, they went with this. Now, I think there's a couple reasons they went with this over Shadowfang Keep. Because I talked to somebody on the team, and they were saying like, yeah, like, there's like a lot of different factors to went into which one we chose. And I understand why they would go with BFD, because honestly, BFD is just not that popular of a dungeon on its own. Like, people do BFD, and there's some quests that you can do there. But let's be honest, the amount of people that do BFD is not that high, and it's also kind of forgettable. So I think that maybe people aren't going to miss the BFD dungeon. So maybe that was part of it. I also think another part of it is the fact that it's in Ashenvale, which is essentially the end game zone at level 25. That, I think, is cool. Because now it's like you're in the big PvP end game zone and you have to like fight through PvP to get to the dungeon. Isn't that why they chose it, to have more people experience a less than used dungeon? They said there's a lot of factors that went into it, and I'm sure that's one of them. How did Warrior look? Warrior looked like they didn't buff it as much as they buffed the other classes. I'm sorry, I don't want to see rogue tanks. Do you guys think it makes sense to have rogue tanks? I think it makes sense to do certain things like enhanced shamans, having some tanking abilities, and I think that's fine. I think that enhanced shaman tanks are kind of cool because it helps the horde side have more people to be able to tank dungeons. I don't think they should necessarily be as strong as like a warrior tank would be, but I think that they should have enough tanking capabilities to be either slightly better than prop paladins are in vanilla currently, in OG vanilla, or about the same level with a little bit less like, because paladins are like, you can prop paladin tank, but you have to do all kinds of crazy stupid stuff. And it's fun for me as a paladin player, but it's not really particularly good design, right? Like that's something I can well admit, and I think that they should have maybe at least that much tanking capability, but it should be easier, right? Or it should be more streamlined. And I know I have a lot of complaints, and I'm very nitpicky about this stuff because I'm so just damn passionate, and I will always be so damn passionate about Classic WoW. But I'm very confident in who is actually on this team, and the line of communication is so strong. I'll tell you, one of the devs literally gave me his phone number and said, I want to hear everything you have to say. And I told him, I said, if you give me your phone number, you better go to bed with Do Not Disturb on, because I will spam text you at 3 a.m. whenever I randomly get tilted, whenever I think about it. I am like about to go to bed, and I have done this before, where I'm I've done it. Okay, if you watch my Burning Crusade arena streams, you know all those times where I lose a game because the freaking engineering doubled healer, like, oh, druid priest again, engineering belt, all 4K absorb, and I lose a game, and I'm sitting there like this. Okay, let's queue. No, hold on. The dog-ass, shit-ass update. How come paladins can't fly? No, all kinds of stuff like that, right? I told him, I was like, you better go to bed with Do Not Disturb, because I will DM you. I will spam DM you at 3 a.m., right? Like, I am W-tiz, dude. W-tiz. That's me, okay? I feel so strongly about the line of communication, and I feel so strongly about their passion that I am confident that it's gonna get figured out. Season of Discovery is the WoW Classic Plus beta, and they have one chance at making Classic Plus right, and I think that they are approaching it the right way by going for Season of Discovery, by approaching the Season of Discovery in the same exact way that they approached the Classic beta back in 2019. Go out, set a mid-level cap. By the way, did you notice how the emphasis on mid-level content? That was one of my key points of something that I wanted to see in Classic Plus that I was very happy about. I was very, very happy to see that they wanted to put an emphasis on mid-level content in Season of Discovery. That was cool, because that was something that I personally was like, that was on my wish list. That's big time. That is what Vanilla WoW is. Vanilla WoW is about level 1 to level 60 and level 60. You start losing that, really in Burning Crusade you start to lose that. But in the later expansions, definitely, like, you don't have that as much. I don't know if this rune system is being utilized properly in order to be able to give you that classic feel while trying to do the things they want to do and kind of expand your kit and do all those things while keeping that classic feel. They kind of play out like glyphs in Wrath a little bit, but the fact that I had them all here, right? Seal of Martyrdom, Divine Storm, Horn of Loron, Aegis. Now these are not balanced. I do want to say this because one of the devs straight up told me this. They're like, look, this is not tuned, right? Just keeping it real. This isn't really tuned right now. This is something they put out. This is what it is for like our first version or our first look, whatever. But they're not really tuned, so they probably are going to get tuned down the road. So I'm less worried about the tuning. I'm more worried about the fact that I'm going in between polls and I'm like, oh, we have an AoE pack. Let me change my chest rune to go with something else. Oh, it's a single target. I don't need this thing. Let's change this and let's do this. I'm going up from pole to pole that I'm changing. I'm like respecking my runes and changing my loadout. What does that sound like? Sounds like retail. You literally do that in retail. Yep. It's a hassle. In retail, you have your talents, and you go and okay, I have my level 5 talent or 15, whatever it is, right? You have your different level talents and you go and you change them from pull to pull, I think something like dual spec is not something in the essence of what Classic WoW is. And some people are like, oh, it saves time, it does this. That's how we got to the game that everybody complained about and people begged for years that they wanted legacy servers. Years ago. People begged for vanilla WoW, right? They begged and begged, we don't like this. It's these things, these small little things that happened over the years that made the game easier and made the game more convenient. And I don't mean easier in the sense of difficulty, I made easier in the sense of like actually being able to like change your spec and stuff like that. My point is, as big as a Karen, yes, I am gonna Karen this, right? I am. Because I'm very passionate about this thing being good. Blizzard has one chance at making Classic Plus good, and they gave themselves, they manufactured 2 chances for Classic Plus by making Season of Discovery, which is your Classic Plus beta. How is quality of life a bad thing? Quality of life can be a bad thing whenever you're putting a band-aid fix to a problem that it affects things in other ways. When I go back, when I have to respec, what do? I go back to the city. I'm walking into the city. I'm flying in. I'm hearthing in. All that stuff. And I'm going back to Stormwind. I'm going back to Ironforge. I'm going back to Orgrimmar. I couldn't agree more, S-Fan. These are very important things because, especially in vanilla WoW, there's like a whole degree of like of a social kind of like I don't know what the word is. Is it sociology? Like there's like it's how the world moves and how the world evolves and how people evolve. That is incredibly important. It's a waste of time. I don't talk to people when I go respec. You don't, and that's okay because that level 5 that just randomly walked into Stormwind because he was trying to do that Stormwind armor marker quest, and he sees that level 60 warlock coming in with his tier 5 armor, and he's like, oh my gosh, look at that guy. That's sick. I saw that guy. I want to be that guy. I want that to be me. I want to see that paladin in judgment armor walks in, boom, boom, boom. He's got his hood on. Dude, what? Right click, inspect. Where did you get that? It's so valuable and it's so important. And despite what you think, despite how many years you've been playing this game, there's somebody else new that is starting to play that game today. There is somebody new playing that game today, and they need to see people in the world. They need to see people around because that's what an MMO is. Now, here's what you're saying. Here's another argument against what I'm saying. Well, I just have a warlock summon me back. I just hearth. I hearth. Mage ports me to the trainer. I go there, and then I like immediately get a summon back. I'm not in the world, right? You know what had to happen? I have a summoning ult. I have a level 20 summoning ult somewhere in the world. I just summoned myself back. I'm barely even walking around. That warlock had a level to 20, didn't he? You had to take that warlock and you had to go through Elwyn Forest. You had to go through Dunmoreau. You had to go through the Barrens, and you had to get to level 20. And during that time, people saw you in the world. You grouped to somebody for a quest, maybe. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you personally didn't, but somebody else who did that, they had to group for somebody with a quest. They went and did a dungeon with somebody. These things are so impactful, and they snowball throughout the course of the game. I think it's very, very important. You guys say, no, they got boosted. Okay, relax. There's a reason why they got rid of the boosting. You know, it's because they wanted to force people out in the world. You know, as fan, we've been playing hardcore solo the entire time. Trust me, no one groups at all. You have been playing hardcore solo. I have seen tons of people walking around, and I've seen the world alive, and that is so good for the game. I can talk separately about hardcore. I can. That's a whole nother thing, and I'll tell you why hardcore makes vanilla WoW. A lot of things about vanilla WoW better. Hardcore does. It also makes some things worse, but that's a whole separate discussion. But I'm telling you, if you want to stay true to classic, if you want to keep class fantasy, you want to stay true to classic, you want to keep that classic feel, there are so many little things that you have to be very careful of to hold. You got to hold it sacred, okay? I'm telling you, man. it's very easy for this to snowball out of control and to turn into, instead of Classic Plus, you end up getting Retail Minus. And there is a very, very fine line between those two things. There is a very fine line. And I'm very confident that the Classic team is so incredibly passionate about Vanilla WoW and Classic WoW that I genuinely believe they are going to be able to get it right. Maybe because I'm a moron. But I've seen the passion. I've talked to them personally. I know several of them personally. Like I said, one of the team leads gave me his phone number and said, message me anytime. He literally gave me his cell phone number, message me anytime. I want to hear everything after BlizzCon. And I said, you want to get dinner? He's like, dude, I'm married. So, my point being, he needs to see this clip. Wait, what's the clip? So I do things that I've always been somebody who's like, you have to account for the times. I made a video where I talked about having to account for the times. I talked to the devs at BlizzCon about, look, for world buffs, all world buffs should be undispellable. If you make all world buffs undispellable and you add Chrono Boon into the game from the beginning, you fix pretty much the entire core of what the problem is that people have with world buffs. I don't want to get my world buffs. I don't want to go. That's classic, okay? That's classic, baby. Get over it, okay? Join a guild that doesn't make you get world buffs. But as far as fixing the raid logging problem, fixing the griefing problem of some level 30 griefing you, no skill, being dead, rezzing, whatever, I genuinely believe, and I think they will fix it. I think they will make all the world buffs undispellable. Half of them are undispellable anyway. Kevin Jordan, the original class designer for Vanilla WoW, has said himself, he has said
Your
himself
skill has increased.
that it was that was not that was not their intention. That type of gameplay was not their intention. Now sometimes emergent gameplay can end up being something that's very good for the game, right? Sometimes intended gameplay isn't always what's best for the game. Sometimes emergent gameplay.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you have to figure it out.
I'm back where I was.
We gotta fix this so the game is played as intended, as opposed to, hey, I got my world buffs. It's Thursday at 3 a.m. Log off, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday, and then the world feels dead. Having to log out and not play to keep them is the issue. Exactly. So, do you think this season of Discovery is just a beta for Classic Plus? I am fully confident, without having been told those words exactly, that season of Discovery is what is essentially the beta for Classic Plus. And Blizzard manufactured 2 chances at doing Classic Plus the right way by making Season of Discovery. I think from a business perspective, they did it right. And they are going to try and throw everything at the wall, see what sticks.